Yeah, bring him. Let's see.
He's probably sleeping.
He's probably sleeping. That's all right. I want to talk to my Florida peeps right now. Hey, what's up? We're on TFWI, the Florida Wrestling Room. Again, Ricky, thanks for the platform. We've got two South Dade legends and future just studs. One already at the collegiate level in Pat Lugo, you know the name, and then Florida four-time state champ, Bretli Reyna in the house. Hey, how are you two guys, man? I appreciate you guys coming on. I was talking to your older brother Dave earlier on messaging, and then your dad's been on, Bretli. That was the first time I ever got to talk to him. I mean, I've met him in parking lots, but we didn't know each other. It was just like, hey, that's Coach Duck. So, he's a legend here in Florida. So I said, what's up? So thank you guys for coming on. I know you guys are busy getting yourself prepared, even though you've got this situation going on. First of all, talk a little bit about that. How has this kind of affected your off season so far?
For me, it's a lot different. I know everyone's seen what happened, how everything got canceled. So ever since then, got away from the sport a little bit. Took some time off, just relax. Relax my mind, relax my body. But now, I mean, I'm back on it. Getting the routine down. Waking up, working out, working on my mental routine, and just finishing up school. Also, I'm trying to. It's my last year. Got to finish strong. I got finals week this week, so finishing strong with school. That's pretty much.
Yeah, man, that's important. That's important. Bretli, what you been up to, man? Are you down in you're down in Florida still, right?
Yeah, I'm still down here. Training's just kind of been a little bit off. Main goal is to get ready for Fargo, but now with that being canceled, supposedly, I don't know. We've been going in Mondays and Wednesdays, and Thursdays like a light strength and conditioning workout, but that's about it. Haven't been really going hard as I used to.
No, well, hey, I'm glad you guys came on together. I know this first question here is probably a question that you both can answer because you both have been around, obviously your dad and to you, Coach Duck, and then obviously Coach B. So those two guys, I mean, talk about, and obviously Dave and everybody at the Gladiator Club as well as South Dade, what has that family meant to you two for so far for your life, your career, and where you're heading? Either one of you can start.
For me, it's been a blessing. I mean, Coach B and Coach Duck has been my coach since I got into wrestling, and they even took more a part of my life once I got to high school. And Coach B and Coach Duck, they're two different people, but what they got, that recipe that they have, it works. It's like yin and yang. So like they coach different, they act different. They got two different personalities, but it helps. What they had, that recipe works, and obviously you can see is like the proof's in the pudding. Like they got guys that are nationally ranked now, and they got guys that do good at the next level and the level after that. So it's been a lot. It's been a lot to me. I mean, it's the coaches. Those two guys are more than just coaches to me. They're more like father figures. And I've said that in the past, and I'll always say that. And
how much have they kind of been there for you through the college process? Maybe through some good times, some tough times, to be there to say, "Hey, bro, you got this." Yeah. Do they stay up with you and keep up with you?
Yeah. So I mean, they both definitely kept up with me. It's funny because if you win a big match, you get all these text messages, "Hey, congrats from everybody," right? But if you lose like a close match, you only get a certain amount of people. Like those people are the people who mean the most. And Coach B and Coach Duck are always there if I win or lose. So that tells you right there that I mean something to them, they mean something to me, and they always just tell me like, just look out for this, look out for that. But they'll tell me like, just do what you do and have fun, and they know what to tell. They know what to tell me. They're not trying to coach me up, but they're not. They just want to help, and it's been like that throughout my college career, and
I mean, I'm sure they know your tendencies. They might see something you're doing and be like, "Hey, yo, adjust this, adjust that, whatever." I've never been a wrestling coach. I'm just a parent that has seen what the sport has done, but I'm sure just like any other sport, they probably are like, yo, what happened to your underhook? How come you're not using it the same, or whatever it might be? So
Exactly.
Bretli, how about you, man? Obviously, one is your dad, so I'm sure he's
Yeah,
been there a bunch, and then the rest of the crew are probably your dad as well, right? They all kind of
yeah.
pitch in. So how much have they meant to you and this run that you've been on through your four state championships?
Just like Pat said, man, I'm just really blessed, really grateful for the coaches that I had. I mean, there's times where my dad couldn't make it to a match that I have, and I'd still feel comfortable performing my best ability with Coach B in the quarter. Or even the same thing with David. They're just we just have like that really tight bond to where it's just like I see him as another. Like I don't really see my dad as a dad in my corner. I see him as a coach, and the same way I see him is the same way I see Coach B and David. So there's really no difference, and that's why I just
Yeah, it's got
thankful.
to be tough for him. Like I had Coach George on from Palm Beach Gardens earlier, and his son is a junior, going to be a senior, and I asked him about that, and just like I asked your dad when he was on, it's tough to separate that as a dad. Like to be at home with you and be like, okay, well, if that, he talked about what you wanted to do after the grappler, and we'll get into that, and he was like, he didn't know if he agreed or not, but he was like, I got to kind of let him be and kind
I
of do his
remember.
thing.
Yeah, after that tournament after grapple, I was like, I think I texted Pat and Coach B. Like those are the two main ones I text like during tournaments. And Pat was the one who said, "Hey, if you feel comfortable, you feel strong enough to do it, do it." Coach B said the same thing, so I just kind of felt comfortable with them too, agreeing with it. And the word means a lot, so why not talk to my dad about it?
Yeah.
And he was a little
Yeah,
frustrated at first, but
yeah,
then
he tells the story that he was
uh,
talking to your mom, like, man, I don't know. I want to try to talk him out of it, but I can't. He's got his mindset on it. So I finally just was
uh,
like, okay, if you want this, go get it, right?
yeah, he was just like, first he was a little upset, and then as we started to practice, he was just like, man, like, let's just do it. I'm like, all right, like, that's what you want to do. We're going to have to work around it, do it.
Yeah, I think it worked out okay for you.
Yeah.
Hey, Pat, so talk about you started at Edinburgh, right?
Yep.
And then you were kicking some tail over there, and then you make the transition over to Iowa. Talk about what the Brands brothers and that mat and that gym the last 2 years, what it's meant to you, and you've obviously seen the progression in the last 2 years, at least us from the outside. So talk a little bit about. I guess you're happy you made the move, and it's been good for you.
Yeah, I'm definitely happy I made the move. It was a move that like it wasn't just an overnight thing. I thought about transferring, and it was like probably a month or two like process. But once it was all done, I was able to come out here and train with Tom and Terry. You just view wrestling different when you're here in Iowa, and wrestling is more of like a job. Like, oh, I have to do this. Like before I got here, but once I got to Iowa, once I got to Iowa, it was more fun. I got in better shape. So like when I'm in better shape, I have more fun when I'm wrestling. When I'm in better shape, you get to see how far you push your body, and you kind of shock yourself because you realize you're doing things that you don't realize that your body can do. And I'm talking about like the workouts here that we have in Iowa. And yeah, it's like it's very interesting. It's hard to explain. It's hard to put in words. You just got to be out here. You just got to smell the room. You got to smell Carver. You got to work out in Carver to like feel the way like how past wrestlers feel or present wrestlers feel like when they're here. And
That's awesome.
it's awesome. It's like it's a feeling that I will never like forget in my life because it's one in a million, honestly. Tom and Terry are the best coaches I ever had in my life. And, they tell you what you need to hear. They don't beat around the bush. And that's kind of like what I grew up around. My dad never really beat around the bush. If there's a problem, you go to the guy's face and you solve it. And that's how Tom and Terry coach, so they don't beat
That's
around
great.
the bush.
And how proud are you of this young man?
Say it again.
How proud are you of this young man? your godson and what he's done in high school behind you, and then coming up to follow in your footsteps?
I mean, I'm definitely proud of him, but like, it's not done. He still has a lot of room to grow. He knows that. I always tell him I don't want him to be like me. I told him he didn't have to come here. You know, you gotta do what you gotta do as a man. You know, he made the decision, and then that was another step for him to becoming a man, and he did. You know, no one convinced him to come here. I told him all the great things about Iowa, and he liked it. So there's still a lot more room to grow. I mean, I'll be helping him when he's here. And I told him I don't want him to be like me. I want him to be better than me. And he's been doing that. His high school career has been better than mine. And I told Coach Duck, his dad, that I think his college career is going to be better than mine too. And we'll see. It's not up to me. I can say all that stuff, but I'm not the one that's going to be wrestling for him. It's going to be him.
Yeah, man. Well, he's got a good supporting staff around him. So, Bretli, obviously that means a lot to you. I mean, I know you call him God brother, but he's probably to you blood, and he's meant a lot to you. So, obviously we talked about the separating dad from the coach thing. So you end up, you're up at the grappler, and I was actually up there. So I know my son was watching the match. He was up there with CFWA, but you take out two of the big boarders up there, Alex Martin and Henry Porter, who are studs in our country in wrestling, and then you get on the airplane and you tell your dad, I'm not good enough, I need to work. Tell us that story. I mean, you just win the grappler, which is a big tournament, and you look at your dad and you're like, man, I'm not right. I need to make some changes.
There was, when we were coming back, like I always watch my matches and kind of like review them. Like even like I don't record it on my phone. Like I just ask someone else to record it and we'll watch it, or just kind of like look over it and see what I'm missing. But after like when we had came back on the plane ride, like I don't know. I just said, hey man, like I felt good, but I need to feel better to win this tournament. And this Super 32, like it's a tough tournament, one of the toughest. So I got and I was these past couple of days, and he was just like, what do you mean? Like you wrestled good? And I was just like, yeah, but I didn't wrestle great. And in order to win that tournament, you need to be on top of your game. Like can't give up takedowns. You can't. Everything needs to be like explicit, like perfect. So
yeah, man. So you look at him and you tell him, he was telling me the story, but I'll let you go through it. But he said you looked at him at the house one day and you said, I'm going to win the 32. And of course, in front of you, he's like, oh, yeah, let's go. But behind your back, he's telling his mom, oh, no, man, he's got some big dreams, right? But,
I mean, on that Sunday when I had decided I was going to go 45, that Monday we had school or whatever, and Coach Balmacito would always come to my class, and like just there was like a thing where I had him for a class, like his students were in our class, so me and him would talk and like review. So it was Super 32 week. He wasn't going to be going, so he had like a full list down of who I'd seen, like the projected seed to think. The number one seed I think projected was Monzuna Bryan, and me and him were just watching it, and I don't know why, but I saw the kid wrestle, and don't get me wrong, I respect him and everything, but I just felt like if this is going to be the number one seed, I can beat this guy. Like, so I was just like, yeah, like that just made me feel even more comfortable with my decision at going 145. I'm going to be healthy. I'm not going to be cutting weight, and just focus more on winning the tournament and getting better than.
Yeah, actually. Man. So you guys get up there, right? He says you guys get there, and hey, Pat, I'll come back to you with some questions, man. I didn't forget about you, but so you get up there and you get to Super 32, and he said that you get that first match under your belt, and then you start catching a little momentum. I think as you started to catch momentum, he says he called moms and was like, yo, I think this kid can do it. So you started to feel good, huh?
Yeah, I mean, after the first match, I felt good. Second match, like after the first day, like I wrestled really good. I didn't get taken down that whole day. So my mentality went from not only wanting to win it to, all right, like I'm not going to give it a takedown and I'm going to win it. So my mentality was just always trying to do something better. And the whole time that kind of motivated me too, as we had Coach B was there and he kept like in my ear, and Pat was texting me too, like they're always in my ear, like, hey man, you can do it. Like, you can beat this guy. Like, so having them two, and then the mentality I already had, I felt like good. Like, nothing was gonna beat me that tournament.
It's awesome, man. Well, you made Florida proud up there. Hey, and we'll get back to that. Hey, Pat. So you come into this year and you placed at a couple of big tournaments last year, and you were riding some momentum. You get into this year and you're undefeated, and you end up with one loss. Was that at Iowa? Was it like the Iowa something against Sasso? And then you take Midlands, and then you meet them again in the Big Ten, and you're wrestling them, and you're up. I watched the match. You're up by a couple, and then he thinks he's got that back on you. When they went back to that call, man, nervous, or you knew he didn't have you?
No, I was confident. I wasn't nervous. I knew he didn't have me. It was not a takedown. I mean, I don't lose any sleep. You know what I mean? I don't lose any sleep. I mean, if it is what it is. And
yeah,
I've
man.
been on both sides of like bad calls or like tough calls, and the way you just gotta live with it, whatever happens. You know, that's in my control, but kind of not. Like the refs making the call, I'm not making the call. But like I said, man, it wasn't no takedown. Anyways, how do you expect to win a match if you're gonna wrestle the last 30 seconds of it? It's just a 7-minute match, you know.
Yeah, and it didn't look like he had you for 3. It looked like you were down for a second or two, and then boom, you popped it back up, and the bell rang.
Yeah, don't expect to win the 7-minute match if you're only gonna wrestle like 15 seconds of it. That was like the only shot he took. That's whatever.
That's right. So man, you come into this year, you end up doing really well. How did you build on the momentum of last year, and what do you think gave you the confidence to just kind of go through your senior year? And I mean, you were just smoking everybody and winning, and it's unfortunate the way it ended out, but really had a great year. Talk about your year.
I think it was just time this year. It took time for me to adjust out here. I redshirted my first year here, and then I wrestled in the year All-American. I think if you ask me, last year, the year All-American was probably my worst year I had mentality-wise. And why is that? Because I just feel like I had a lot of pressure on me. I didn't show it that much, but I had a lot of anxiety before matches, during the match, you know, just not being relaxed. And that's what got me in trouble in the beginning, you know?
Well, it's got to be different wrestling with that Hawkeye singlet.
Oh, for sure. There's a lot of pressure. You got an Olympic champ as your head coach. You got a Terry as your assistant coach. You got, you know, all these great coaches. You see all the walls, like Hall of Fame wrestlers, this and that, all the legends of the sport, and they're all around you. You're in the same room. You know what I mean? So you want to wrestle like them. And I try to wrestle like DeSanto last year, or I try to wrestle like Terry last year. And that's not me. You know, that's not my style. I'm more relaxed, but I'm explosive too. So I didn't wrestle like myself the year All-American, and I still All-American. You know, that just shows you how much of a great program this is. I was at my worst ever I've been mentally, but me being in the great program, I was still able to All-American. Now, once I'm in a great program and my mentality's the way it should be, then I'll have a year like I just had, like my senior year. And that's what I had. Everything was on point this year. And how did I fix that? I don't know, man. I'll just write things down in person by myself, you know, like the strong thoughts. I'll have them be playing in my head. I'll be in class writing it down. I'll say it out loud, and I'll be in my room. I live alone, so I spend a lot of time with myself, and I think that's what helped me. I just put music on and think, you know, just think and put myself in positions, you know. I remember I was watching a wrestling match on my phone, and this is an old match, and I would start getting anxiety from a match like that I've seen 100 times, you know. And I tell myself, like, why are you getting anxiety? You know what's gonna happen. So I just learned to relax.
That's what my son tells me. I'll watch one of his matches, and I'm watching it like it's the first time I've ever watched a match. And he's like, Dad, you know what happened.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So it was just reps for me. I just had to take time. You know, I stepped back and realized what was going on. And
so you talked about, before we got on the phone, before we went live, obviously unfortunate that you win the big, fortunately you win the Big Ten, but then unfortunately you get that call. And I read a couple articles where obviously that's kind of a shitty call. You don't want to get that phone call, right? You're motivated. But But you said that you already had the NCAA bracket planned in your head.
Yeah.
Talk about what you had planned, what you saw happening, and maybe who you pictured you were going to have in the finals. Did you think it was going to be a trilogy, or did you think that you were going to face somebody else?
If I'm being honest, I think I'll probably face someone else just because I felt like 100% I was gonna make the finals, but who's gonna meet me there? And I didn't only play the finals match in my head. I played every single round in my head. So I wrestled Jared Deegan in my head. I wrestled Boulawan in my head. I wrestled who else was it? Max Thompson in my head. Whoever was gonna wrestle, I had him in my head. I already had it all planned out, and I would just picture myself inside of a leg, or I'll picture myself mat returning them, or I picture myself defending the shot. But at the end of every match, I picture myself getting my hand raised, and that's just that is just so.
Is that normal for people at your level? I mean, I have a young son, so he's learning how to do that and watch stuff. But like even when I talked to Chris Rivera, he said that he spent the whole night dreaming that whole match that happened in the semis at States this year. Dreamed himself picturing it. Bretli, you dream these matches too in your head like that?
As it may sound crazy, it actually is true. Like you picture yourself winning, and then when it comes to the match, you already been there already, so you already know what the outcome's going to be. It's up to you.
Yeah,
that's awesome, man.
It's good at any level. I mean, you could be elementary, middle school, high school, college, or at the world level. You know, all the great wrestlers do it, and like, why? If I can do it, why can't your son do it? So,
when did you guys stop like looking at the brackets or worrying about who was seated or who's not or who you're facing? When did you guys start just showing up and wrestling whoever was in front of you?
I think there's a difference between looking at the bracket and worry about who you're wrestling, and then looking at the bracket and visualizing, like what's gonna happen. So I never really looked at the bracket and worried about who was I wrestling like in the past, like ever. But I just started like picturing and playing the whole tournament out in my head, or picturing and playing the whole do me out in my head. So I'll picture myself like after practice, the Carver Stadium will be empty, and I live across the street from Carver. So I'll picture myself this. I'll practice my walkout. Just being there, and I'll imagine the fans around the whole stadium, and I'll practice like just being in that moment. And then when that moment finally came, I've been there a million times that the nerves are gone. You know what I mean? Like the nerves don't exist no more, and that's
awesome, man.
That's what helped me get through this year. And I practiced myself winning in the Minnesota Viking Stadium a million times. You know what I mean? So if I would have been there, I wouldn't have been nervous because I've been there before in my head. So yeah.
Hey, Bretli, so before, people are kind of talking about you here and there, but not a ton, right? I mean, they're talking about you, but not a ton. Then you go out and you beat Joey Zargo, the PA champ. You beat Ed Scott, or you beat the Flow National champ Joey Zargo. Then you beat the PA champ Ed Scott. Then you beat arguably the pound for pound champ in John Saunders. And then you walk out of there with the belt. I got a picture of you holding it like this. After that tournament, talk about what changed for your life. What changed as far as the opportunities that came for you as far as colleges and the next level, and how you had to adjust to all that after. I mean, life changed when you did that.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. Right after the match, I was just kind of trying to cool down, do a cool down workout, and it was just crazy how like I went from being like just like barely on the radar to right after the match, I had Tony Ramos coming up to me, Coleman Scott, Lee Pritz, like a bunch of colleges just coming up to me. So it was a little bit different. And then one thing that really changed my mind was I was excited. My dad was excited. And then here comes the text from Pat. So it was like a big paragraph. And then the last words was, the job's not done yet. So I'm like, damn, like I just won this tournament. And I was saying, like, the job's not done yet. So, like,
that's why he's there for you.
Yeah. So I was like, now we really got to work more and move forward from this. Like that's it. It's already in the past. That's it. No one's going to care that I won Super 32 when I go to college. Like, no one's going to care about that. The job's not done. That's really how I approach practice and at college now. Just that's
Did your dad take a step back and kind of let you enjoy that moment? Or did he kind of
did.
grab you by the collar and like, hey, wait a second here?
No, he was excited. Coach B was excited. The only one that kind of did that, not really pull me back, but kind of like get me back to refocus was Pat. Like he said, the job's not done yet. And then of course, like as practice came by, like about a week or two, then that's when Bamacita and my dad were saying, okay, like now we got to work for something better. Now let's win Fargo. Let's finish off a great season. And that's pretty much it.
Yeah, because I remember my father lives down in South Florida, and he always talks about the teams down there. And I remember him sending me this big article in the Miami Herald about you that winning the whole thing, and then you went on to get Mr. Florida as far as a wrestler. So, man, that's awesome. And then you win your fourth state title. Man, what a atmosphere this year at States, huh? With everything that went on.
Yeah, it was fun. Like that night before that morning, I was calm. I was ready. I knew that I respected my opponent, but I already knew what the outcome was going to be, and I wasn't looking for to win by one or two. I sometimes like I pictured them like keeping the match close, so I already worked around that. Like when I'd warm up and nights before, I'd picture myself them keeping it close. So how can I work around that to put a tech, put a pin, and that's pretty much what happened in the match.
What are your guys' opinion? Obviously, you've been there. Pat, you've been at the Florida State level, winning it twice, right?
Yeah, twice.
So what's your opinion about the argument with seeding or seeding the top four? Like, I just feel like that semifinal match should have been under the lights, you know? Is that something normal? But then as a wrestler, when you talk to those two, I don't think the state title mattered. That match mattered. It could have been played out anywhere in a park, and they were focused on that. So I guess there's the side, as a wrestler, do you really care where you're seated when you get the opportunity to wrestle the best? And then do you think it should be seated to get those better matches at the top? Does that make sense, what I asked?
Yeah. I mean, I think it should be seeded to get the best guys, in the finals, or second best guys, in the semis or whatever it is. Yeah, because you don't want to wrestle the best guy in your bracket, third round or something like that. You want to beat him where, it does matter. Every round does matter. The most important match is the next match. So every match matters. Some wrestlers are different. Everyone's different. Some guys might wrestle better in the semis, so they might want to have the best guy in the semis. Some guys don't wrestle good under the spotlight. Some guys wrestle great under the spotlight. Everyone's different, but for me, I would say just have the guys seated. Have the best guys wrestle the best guys, like in the finals or something.
Yeah, and Bretli, you were in the room. Every kid, they should have just stopped the tournament, right? Everybody was around that mat.
Yeah,
the atmosphere was electric, right?
Yeah, it was good. Good time. Happy.
You feel the same way Pat does?
Yeah, same exact way. I think it should be seeded. I don't think that formula that they do. It's good and it can't help you, but I still feel there should be seeds instead of that formula.
Yeah, the year happens for a reason. You guys wrestle all year and accomplish a lot of big goals. Yeah. So, Pat, what's next for you? I know that there's been some people posting here. What are your plans next? I had that question down here. So where do we go from here? Obviously, you're working on your degree, and then what's next for you?
So I got finals this week. I'm gonna knock that out, and then I'm gonna graduate sometime in May. Oh, no, sometime in late May. And then just training to make a world team, man. It's not something I just want to throw my hat in the ring and see what happens. It's something that I'm gonna do. I know it's gonna happen. Just like I knew I was gonna win nationals, I know I'll be on the world team, and that's just. And some people might laugh, but who cares? It's only it only matters what I think, because other people they laugh, but they're not wrestling from me. They're not training from me. So yeah, it only matters.
and they're not wrestling you. So
Exactly. Yeah. So that'll be my next move, and then from there I'll see what happens. I don't know. I don't know, man. Life's crazy. I didn't know I wanted to wrestle internationally until like maybe a year and a half ago. So things might change. A lot of things could happen. But for right now, my answer would be just wrestling to the next Olympics. And then if I still feel like I want to wrestle again for the other Olympics, then I will. If I don't, then I won't.
nice. Do you so a few things. First of all, without wrestling, where would you be?
Without wrestling, I'll probably be like a boxer or something, or I'll definitely, I don't know, whatever I'll be in, I'll freaking be the best I can be in, honestly. If it wasn't a sports at all, then I'll probably be, I don't know, man. I'll probably work with my dad somewhere.
Yeah. But so to the young kids out there, man, this sport is an absolute amazing vehicle to take you anywhere you want to go, correct?
Oh, absolutely. It take me around the world. I've never been to California before, and I seen the freaking redwood trees, and I've never been there. And I've been there for a camp, wrestling camp. It's all paid for, and I get money on top. So wrestling definitely. And you meet a bunch of people. You meet like all these awesome people that can help you after you're done with wrestling. So wrestling definitely opened a lot of opportunities and doors for me. A lot of people. It's like what me and Bretli are doing. A lot of people don't do that from Florida. Some guys have the good grades but not a good enough wrestler. Some guys are good enough wrestler but don't have the good grades. You gotta be just as good as you are on the mat. You gotta be just as good as you're in wrestling.
Yeah, I spoke with I don't know if you saw it, but I spoke with Omi the other day.
Yeah.
He sent me a hat, so shout out to Omi.
Awesome.
And he said, man, he goes, man, those South Dade coaches, forget wrestling, what they do for humans in life, for people around there, even the kids that aren't in the gyms, is unbelievable and incredible. So shout out to them. Obviously, your dad, your brother, Coach B, whoever is involved with that, they've done great work with the community out there. So Bretli, so you win your fourth state title. I think prior to that, you made your decision. I know your dad answered this question when he was on with me, but obviously Pat is up there. But what were the reasons that you chose Iowa over some other big opportunities you had?
One thing out of B is that they stuck with me. They from when I went there, I think my sophomore year, when they couldn't recruit me, I think my junior year, like just the beginning of my junior year, it was our first dual meet. We were gonna go watch Pat, and we ended up eating breakfast, and then right there, since I think it was Tom, he said like, "Hey man, like we want you." So I was like, "Damn, like I haven't really accomplished anything like that much to be like to order to see myself being a Hawkeye, but like I felt like respected off of that. Like, damn, like they want me, like I gotta show them, like." So
they didn't just hit you up after the 32. They had stayed.
Yeah, they had stayed there after Ironman. I did bad at Ironman. After I did bad at Fargo, they still stayed there. And that's one thing. Like they're loyal to me. They didn't just hit me up when I was on my good or on my highs. They stayed with me and that. And then when I went
and talk about when you went up there, because from what I understand, you went up there and there was nobody cared about wrestling. They kind of were just showing you the way of life at Iowa.
Yeah, when we ran, they didn't even tell me like, "Hey, like, what weight do you want to wrestle?" or nothing. It was just like we went up there, we watched football game, we talked, hung out. All of us got ice cream. Just nothing was about wrestling, and I like that. It was very like a family, like, and that's how I am. Like, I have a big family, so I'm always trying to be with family, and they made it feel like it was home again. So that played a big role on me picking Iowa.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, because it's got to be, even for guys at your level, Pat, when you came from Edinburgh and you, a four-time state, you're a big dog in a room, still walking in there and seeing Spencer Lee, seeing the Brands brothers, seeing DeSanto, seeing all those guys. You guys got to be in awe. I mean, he talked about his whole last year struggling with trying to be a Hawkeye, so it's got to be tough to walk in and be like, whoa.
I mean, yeah, it's tough, but I mean, it takes time, like I said. But then you can't think of it like, oh my God, Spencer Lee's here. No, because especially he's a great talent, but you and him are like teammates. You guys are even now. So the way you look at him is the way he's gonna look at you. So it's respect, but you can't be like, oh my God. Like,
Yeah. It's like being at the Orange Bowl watching those Hurricanes in the 90s, right? You're like, whoa. That's awesome. So let's do, so you guys, so you're going to be around for Bretli when he comes up. You're still going to be training in the area. You'll be doing some Carver stuff. Do you guys?
We're living together.
Oh, good. So that's good. You've got a mentor up there, somebody to keep you grounded. And what about, so your plans are to do the Olympics and stuff. Do you see yourself ever back in the room coaching, maybe at the Gladiator Club or at the college level?
Yeah, I want to, when it's all said and done, when I'm done coaching, done competing, I want to like eventually open up my own Gladiator Club, not maybe like in Miami, like the roots of Miami, a little bit more up north, and it's be the same thing, but just in a different location. You know, I'll run it, and I definitely sit down and talk to Coach Duck about it first. But it's just like a vision I have in my head, and maybe, and I want to like do the same thing Coach Duck's doing. You know, Coach Duck, he saves lives, man. He honestly does. Like with all these kids, so does Coach B. They're saving lives. You know, there's guys that come from hard homes, and you know, without wrestling, they might have been in jail doing stuff on the street. But when you bring them into wrestling, you know, they change. And
yeah, that's what Omi said. He said, if someone didn't pull me off the monkey bars, I don't know where I'd be right now.
Yeah, exactly. Like if my dad never brought me to wrestling, I don't know where I'd be. I don't know.
Hey, so somebody just asked, Bretli, who is your favorite opponent to wrestle in South Florida?
It's got to probably be the twins, Chris and Justin, or Malik Hines or Tasha. One of those four. I always know it's going to be a good match. I would say Basil, but I've never been able to wrestle Basil in a match. It's got to be one of those four. Nice.
Yeah, all good kids, too. Good families, good backgrounds. Man, it seems like all you guys come from some good people, man. The parents, if you're listening to these guys, good job. And all right, man. So you guys ready? I got these questions.
Let's do it.
I know with the food part of it, I had to transfer Omi. He said he didn't know what like chicken tenders and chicken nuggets were, so I had to be like,
he does. He's lying.
Yeah. I had to be like arroz con bistec or arroz con gandules, and then he picked something from me.
Homie, you're a liar.
Hey, so whoever wants to go first, you're down by 3 going into the third period. You have choice. Are you going top, bottom, or neutral?
Down by 3 going to the third, I'm going down. I'm getting out, and I'm getting the takedown.
Bretli?
Same thing. I'm going down, getting out, getting the takedown. Try to get, yeah.
I like it. So, preferred style of wrestling, folk or free?
Folk style.
I don't know. Maybe freestyle for me.
All right. Headgear, no headgear?
Headgear.
No headgear.
All right, you guys have only one day to train. Do you guys choose to go to a rumble or to a clinic?
A rumble.
Rumble for me too.
Who wins the Vision Quest rematch, Loudon Swain or Brian Shute?
Shoot.
Same.
All right, which title holds? I think I may know your answer here, Mr. Reyna down there, but which title holds more prestige, Super 32 or Fargo?
Fargo. Honestly, Fargo, because I didn't win it, so I can't really tell you. But I'd
yeah,
say Fargo.
Super 32. You're just like did
no,
that.
Don't get me wrong. It's good, but I'd have to say Fargo. Fargo was tough tournament.
Say, I don't know. I never won either. I'll probably say Fargo too. Yeah.
That's all right. You won the Big Ten. That's better.
Yeah.
Hey, let me ask you a question on that, Bretli. I saw you lose at the knockout.
Yeah.
And in the finals there, what was it, like a Georgia kid or something, right?
Yeah, Caleb Henson.
Yeah, and now talk about how tough that tournament has become, and do you think they're getting to a level where they can become a Super 32 or a Fargo, or how much more do they need to go?
It's definitely not at that level, but it's it's definitely way harder than the state tournament. Way harder than the state tournament. It's the toughest tournament in Florida right now. It's a really tough tournament, and a lot of great competitors go there, and everyone wants to win. It's a really good tournament.
Yeah, and I mean, I tell people I went there for the finals so my son could experience it and watch it.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I saw you and Hines losing the finals. I mean, and you guys blew right through the state tournament, so it's got to be pretty tough.
I mean, at the same time, I only had like 1 day of training for that tournament too. Don't get me wrong, I respect Caleb Henson and everything, but I wasn't supposed to wrestle in that tournament. I had a dislocated jaw, and I wasn't supposed to wrestle in that tournament. So I sat out we came back from BC the East, and I sat out from Monday all the way to Thursday.
That was for knockout?
Yeah, and then Thursday, Coach B was like, "Man, just wrestle. Like it's not gonna hurt you." So.
Hey, Pat, what do you think about these excuses, Pat?
Don't bring him out here.
I'm not, bro.
Hey, so what's more dominant, a pin or a tech?
Tech
for sure.
All right, Popeyes or Chick-fil-A?
Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A. I never had Popeyes, so I don't know. I can't answer that one.
We'll go get some.
All right.
Do you guys prefer chicken nuggets or chicken tenders?
Nuggets.
Nah, tenders. I like chicken tenders better.
And so how about, do you go wings or a burger?
Wings.
Burger.
Nice. Hey, so how's the barbecue out there in Iowa?
It's all right. It's decent. I just like one barbecue restaurant near me, and a couple of guys on the team we go. It's called Mosley's. Shout out to them.
Nice. You guys, do they have any of that, like those little Havana cafes where you walk up to the window and you get the French fries and the bread with the steak and the eggs? They don't have none of that up there, huh?
Nah, they got a couple of Mexican restaurants out here that are pretty good. I mean, it ain't like home, but it's close.
Yeah. I mean, I'm in my 40s, right? But I remember there would be days where maybe I would leave high school early. I don't know what they call that. And I would end up out in Little Havana at a little window getting some breakfast.
I've been there for sure.
Yeah, man. Hey, guys, man, I wish you all the best, man. You guys are doing Florida wrestling proud and wrestling in general proud. And like I tell people, I'm just a parent that felt like I needed to do this. So I hope I'm doing the community proud, and to get to meet you two is just an honor for me. So thank you so much for coming on, and good luck with your future. And I'll definitely be following you.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah, man. And hey, if you could get me to talk to DeSanto too, man, that'd be dope. If not, it's okay. At least I got to talk to Pat Lugo.
I'll run it by him. I'll bring him over.
All right, brother. Hey, you guys take care. And thanks, Pat. Thanks, Duck. Thanks, South Dade, for all of this. And appreciate y'all. Keep kicking butt.
Appreciate it. See ya.
Yes, sir. Go Canes, by the way. I know it's Iowa, but it's still all about the U.